everybody, Sam here with another In Defense of Bad Movies Minisode. In Defense of Bad Movies is, of course, the podcast where we take a movie that is generally regarded as bad, but at least one of us likes the movie. That's usually the premise. This one will not be an exception. We will be watching Unfriended Dark Web. If that sounds at all familiar, it's probably because you're a regular listener and you know that way back at episode 15 we did Unfriended, and you probably know that our special guest for that was Bobby Ramos, aka Dino Winwood, and he will actually be back to defend this as well. So that is exciting. It's a returning champion, talking about a sequel to a movie that we did before, and I totally invite you to go back and listen to that episode, but I'm going to give you a little spoiler right now. Turns out we actually kind of liked it. So let's see if Bobby is again successful and chooses a movie that is regarded as not great that we like. Let's find out. That'll be next episode. I do hope you join us. But in the meanwhile, what we do for almost all of our In Defense of Bad Movies minisodes, we are going to do Themes Like Old Times with your hosts, Sam and Loren. Take it away, Sam and Loren.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in a half shell, turtle power. They're the world's most fearsome fighting team.
We're really hip.
They're heroes in the half shell, and they're green.
Hey, get a grip.
When the evil Shredder attacks, these turtle boys don't cut 'em no slack. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Splinter taught them to be ninja teens.
He's a radical rat.
Leonardo leads, Donatello does machines.
That's a fact, Jack.
Raphael is cool but rude.
Give me a break.
Michelangelo is a party dude.
Shut up!
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell, turtle power.
Thanks, Sam. Sam here with Themes Like Old Times with my lovely co-host, Lauren.
Hi.
Hi, Lauren. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I mean,
Thanks for asking.
You're welcome. These are COVID times, so to be honest, very few of us are doing all right. But, as far as that goes, hanging in there.
Good.
Cool. So, we're going to do today's theme song. Of course, Themes Like Old Times, the show we talk about, TV theme songs. Mm-hmm. We are going to do, I like to reset every time, because this might be somebody's first episode. I don't know.
What's a podcast?
Al Gore in the 1990s invented the internet. Fast forward to its radio on the internet.
All right.
That's not it, but that's okay. It is actually not too unlike that. It's radio on demand, if you will. I don't know why I'm still doing this. This was a joke.
Everyone knows what podcasts are.
Yes, everyone knows what podcasts are. I'm an idiot. Okay, but we are going to do one. It's for a TV show that I never really watched. And when I say I never really watched it, I never watched it. Is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah!
Because this is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles podcast, as we all know.
It's deeply in the zeitgeist right now. By which I mean it kept coming up on Comedy Bang Bang, and now Sean Diston has a show.
And I like to steal Comedy Bang Bang's best bits.
Of course. But imagine how I felt being an avid Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, and it kept coming up on episodes, and Scott kept asking guests what their relationship was to the show, and asking them questions about characters. Never so much have I had a shouting at the radio experience. Like, that's not right!
Now, I am a big Comedy Bang Bang fan.
Indeed.
But it's actually kind of funny because this is very much like that too, because Scott doesn't know anything about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that's how I feel. Although I do know their four names, I know their leaders, I think I know their color, who the leader is.
I forced you to learn,
Yes,
though.
you did.
I really kept quizzing you, and you still aren't
It's like
really solid.
Leonardo's the leader.
Exactly.
That's L. Mm-hmm. There's Magritte.
What color is he?
Oh, he's blue.
Okay.
There's Magritte.
I'm sorry, I stepped on that joke.
Thank you. There's...
Go on, name another one.
Monet.
All right.
Rodin.
He's a sculptor, you monster.
He's still an artist.
That's true. Michelangelo gets to be in there.
Yeah. Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and the other one, whose name I'm blanking on. I can never... Raphael.
Nice.
I often can only
How
remember...
dare you forget Raphael.
I can often only remember three.
at any given time.
It's the same problem I have with the Four Stooges. I remember Larry, Moe, and Curly, but I can't remember the other one. That's a big problem of mine. Anyway, so yeah, I do kind of know their colors. But, I mean, that's not the point. This isn't the What Sam Knows About Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles podcast.
No, let's really dig into this. What else can you tell us?
There's okay, so they used to be little regular turtles. They got flushed down the toilet and based on a comics book.
Yes, indeed.
That's sort of based on Daredevil. Like a lot of their things, like the foot is based on the hand from Marvel.
In a funny, winky way.
Yes.
Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird produced this comic in the early 80s.
Black and white?
Black and white, exactly.
I knew that.
And self-published the first copy. And, didn't really expect it to go anywhere. And it was so popular that it came into a really successful series for them. And you're right, having set in New York, having a lot of, I think, cute, winky...
Splinter is based on Stick. So there's a lot of wordplay based on those
The argument that their origin is the same, that they were splashed with, chemicals that change them.
They weren't blind, though.
They weren't blind.
I
don't know, the way they were drawn initially, they had no pupils. It was just the white beneath the bandana.
Were they that? Oh, I see.
Scary.
That's fair. They did the Batman no iris thing. That's interesting.
Indeed. I mean, no pupil even.
Pupil, whatever. I mean,
just white. Just the whites of your eyes.
That's what I meant.
Looking creepy.
Yes, that's what I meant. I do not know eye anatomy very well.
No, that's totally fair.
No, yeah.
It's a motif that they copied for the second reboot of the show. Like, anytime they're serious and fighty, their eyes goes white. But we're not talking about their eyes goes white. But we're not talking about that right now.
we don't have time. We don't have time for this. I do want to get into a little bit because like I said, I never really watched the show. I had a good friend in high school. He watched it. He was a year younger than me. This is Howard. If he's listening, hi Howard. I doubt he's listening.
Howard, who's your favorite? Sorry.
He was a big TMNT fan.
Nice.
And I think I was just a little too old for it.
That's fair. And I'm having a hard time a little bit because I loved it, and I was just the perfect age for when it came out. I was in the 1980s. I was young, and so it was the series changed a lot from the comic. Sort of without the full enthusiasm of the creative team of Eastman and Laird, made it a lot more cartoony, a lot more kid friendly. Yeah, because the book itself is PG-13 up, and they was going for something a lot darker. But yeah, I loved the show. And going back in adulthood and watching some of the early episodes, it's kind of rough. It's kind of like any 80s show you go back and look at and realize, oh my gosh, this is cheap and bad. But I don't want it to be that way because, man, I regard the show so preciously in my heart.
I feel that way a little bit about Thundercats, although...
Oh, you made me watch the Thundercats, man. That shit's bad.
It was one of those things, too, that, I wasn't even a huge Thundercats fan. I just remember we went to this private school. It wasn't that expensive. It was not that big a deal. No. But it was... They would keep us there until about 5 o'clock because there were a lot of working parents. And so between whenever school was out...
You gotta afford that private school.
Yeah. Between 3 and 5, we would just watch cartoons. And Thundercats was there, and I spent all that time talking in the back with one of my friends. So I don't even know why I have this special place for Thundercats, but I am giving it a rewatch. The acting is horrible. The mythology is bad. But we're not here to talk about Thundercats.
But I do, a part and parcel of a bit of that, how kids just love anything. Yeah. You put something in front of them, I'm on board for this. This is exciting. They have no concept of aestheticism or, good or bad content. They're just this is shiny and fun. I love it. How I long for that lack of criticism in my viewing.
Oh, man.
Also, no, I'm a big snob.
So I actually wanted to do a little bit more. I got the Thundercats whole thing threw me off. There have been several reboots of TMNT.
It is a powerful franchise.
Yeah, it's
beyond
a thriving
the fact
franchise.
that it has had several different movie iterations.
Mm-hmm.
There have been 3 further series of
animated
series, rebooting the original characters in some capacity or another. We are not going to talk about 2 of those, but one I will happily laud.
Can I ask you, these reboots that they did, have any of them decided to hew closer to the comics, or are they all keeping it pretty kid-friendly?
They're all kid-friendly. I haven't done the research enough for this part.
No, that's fair.
No, they all still stay pretty young. There was a 2003 reboot that looked a lot sleeker. It cut out some of the, round cartooniness of it, and I think they were trying to go for a little bit more serious action show, and that one was boring. And then Nickelodeon rebooted it in 2012, and that's the one I really like.
And that's that blocky looking one.
That's the blocky looking one with the Hellboy fingers.
Okay.
And they so wisely bring Rob Paulsen back, which makes me so happy to do.
But he played a different character.
He played a different character. It's so exciting. It's like those actors that play, you know, Shakespeare in different periods in their life and come back and do different roles. Anyway, and that one's great. And it has the bright cartooniness, like lots of, you know, gags and silly, but it's really successful at it. And then there's a Rise of the Turtles, which goes way too far in the other direction and is super cartoony, but sacrifices character or heart for silliness.
Did you watch all the movies? I don't think you watched the Michael Bay ones, right?
What are you talking about? Michael Bay did some turtle movies? I think that you ask people who saw those films and they will say, no, he did not do a turtle movie.
I mean, I don't watch Michael Bay films at all in general, but...
yeah, I couldn't watch those for a number of reasons, but based on everything I'm hearing, I made the right choice. The original movies, though, still held up very
I did want to ask you about that, but before we get to that, I did want to real quick ask, do you know if those went more comic darker? I mean, they look like they're darker, of course. They look like
Michael Bay's?
Yeah.
I don't think that can be true. Because, number one, is my understanding is the turtles are barely characters in those movies, that they spend so much more time with the humans. Ugh. And no, I still don't think it goes dark. I think it goes like Transformer route, where, you know, it's big, bombastic action. And
Does Michelangelo finally have sex with April O'Neil in those movies?
How dare you?
What?
How dare you?
What?
If anything, she'd go with Raphael.
Oh, okay.
Because he's the sexiest.
Now, is that her opinion or yours?
He's the bad boy. Or he's the sarcastic one. Either way, it's the best.
Okay.
What? Shut up. Whatever my first crush, be quiet.
Okay. We're finding out a lot of interesting information about you. Let's see. Well, let's talk about the theme song now.
Okay.
Who wrote it?
Great theme song.
I will say,
who wrote it.
I will say, though, that I guarantee you there are plenty of people who, when they see the name of this episode, they will immediately start singing this song. So,
absolutely, because it's iconic.
It's like I said, I never watched it. It is definitely iconic.
It's a great song. It's
catchy.
Uber repetitive, just
the
way you want kids' theme tunes to be at a certain time. We're gonna get this in your brain. It's a long title, but you will never forget it after this song.
Yeah, my musical improv teacher. Tara Copeland would be very proud of the repetitiveness of it. That is something she'd hammered in us a lot about how, you know, repetitive is good and, you know.
But it's smart.
Catchy.
It's a long, angular title, and like that's a lot to wrap your brain around. So just say it a bunch of times. And the classic, you know, old timey theme tune. We're gonna give you all the information about these characters you need right up front. Here's what they are. Here's what they are.
You missed the pilot? That's okay. We got you covered.
Don't worry. We're gonna catch you up.
Yeah.
Good news for you, razor thin premise. Just accept what we tell you. You have some turtles, they're mutants. There's also a rat fighting. Go.
They're ninjas.
They're ninjas.
I think that's
mostly. But that's the trivia I'm saving for a moment.
They do like trivia. I mean, they do like trivia. They do like pizza. I do know that.
They love pizza.
I mean,
in the animated series.
That wasn't in the books?
No.
That's funny. There is something very universal about loving pizzas. Now, do they ever pick up the what's it called? The Subway, you know, like the Subway, the manhole cover, and eat the manhole cover like it's a pizza pie?
I don't know where Scott Aukerman got that from. He's convinced that happened, and I don't know where he got his information.
Could we make this a supplemental podcast to Comedy Bang Bang?
Send it to Sean Diston.
It's like essential listening.
He should include it on his Patreon. He will lose all of his subscribers.
Yeah. But he'll gain all of ours. All 3 of ours. No, we're doing okay, actually.
Oh, that's
I'm glad you asked. So let's talk about this theme song.
Okay. Well, the theme song, great theme song, we all agree. I'm disappointed to tell you guys, is written by Dennis Challen Brown.
Oh my god,
and
that hack.
And his longtime collaborator, Chuck Lorre. That's right. Chuck Lorre of superstardom, television sitcom fame, worked on Roseanne, Dharma and Grey,
Sybil.
Big Bang Theory. It just keeps going down from there. Any sitcom your parents watch, he is the multi-millionaire who spearheaded those things. And
2.5 Men.
And 2.5 Men, that's right. I always forget about that one. And he co-wrote this with his collaborator and actually performs the spoken parts of the song.
What?
Along with, the rest of the song, which is performed by James Mandel, a.k.a. Miles Doppler. I don't know what any of those names mean, but Wikipedia assumed the a.k.a. was going to be really important to me.
Ding, 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 ding.
There he
That's
is.
for my Miles Doppler. And ripping off comedy.
Where am I Miles Doppler at?
You're silly.
I know, I'm sorry.
I'll say.
I'm just so excited to be talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles finally.
Chuck Lorre is such an interesting one because he's clearly had talent. I don't know. Yeah. And I don't want to... I am trying to kind of get into this industry, so maybe I shouldn't say too much, but I don't like his newer shows.
I mean, he's super successful.
Yeah.
He feels like the kind of person who cracked a code and has been doing minimal work since then.
Yeah.
Like, he got into television in the early days and, like, worked on some of the best television and, figured it all. And was like, okay, I now have the algebraic formula which can make the most successful television show. And I'm just going to keep repeating this and I will make all the money. And I don't care whether these shows are good or not. Yeah. And that's something to be proud of.
It's a legacy.
Golden age of television, and then he has all his millions. So
yeah, he was definitely producing shows in the golden age of television. Does that mean that they are the shows that represent the golden age of television? Mm-hmm. Perhaps not. And
we're not poo-pooing you. You enjoy these shows. That's totally acceptable.
Lauren speaks for herself. If you watch 2.5 Men, I have questions about it.
Don't alienate one of our 3 listeners.
No, of course.
Right.
I mean, there's no accounting for taste. People like what they like, and that's just, I mean, this we also. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm the same Sam Bowen who does the In Defense of Bad Movies. Host that. Mm-hmm. So if we host In Defense of Bad Movies, if I host it and you're on it, we obviously, we can't exactly be too much of a stickler for, super high quality programming.
At least not you guys. Every movie I've defended has been golden.
That's true.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to go back to the tapes, but I don't think it's true.
We have to stop using tapes.
We gotta stop using tapes. By the way, thank you for everyone who goes to the library and checks out the tapes of our podcast. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Anyway, we've gone on so many tangents. It's gonna be like a episode, like an In Defense of Bad Movies episode length of whatever this show's called. All right, that's enough, Sam. Let's tell us some more about the theme song.
What's our next bit? What do we do after this? No,
we watched the thing. Okay, we watched the theme song. We watched the thing. We talked about the and like maybe I think that's it. I don't think there's a hard formula that we do. We kind of mix it up every time.
Okay.
Well, should we watch the theme?
I think we have to.
Okay.
I think that it's a glorious animated intro with just so many cuts and cool shots. I think we gotta do it.
I put my mute on my computer so that'll be my watch it.
The original theme song premiered in 1988.
Oh, is this Darkwing Duck?
Cool, right? It's a cool, Gotham skyline. Pans down to a manhole cover, and out come these baby turtles, and then suddenly they're cool Ninja Turtles in shadow, and there's our opener. Then they're coming out.
There's a Turtlemobile.
There's a Turtlemobile. There's April O'Neil driving the Turtlemobile. She gets to be a part of things.
She only wears yellow.
She really does.
They're all really married to their colors.
Well, how else would you tell them apart? It's kind of
it's offensive. Fair. It's fair with the turtles.
So they're fighting. They cut the screen right down the middle. Donatello's got a flying thing.
Oh, I guarantee you that was a toy.
Oh, there's the morphing into
Splinter.
Mother Yoshi just changes to Splinter. They're fighting again.
Wait, he had a
Donatello's machines.
What?
That's exploding. Oh, that feels so cool.
Pete with his pizza.
He put the pizza on the screen.
Who's the dancer?
It's Michelangelo, of course. Running across the rooftops. They got a zipline. There's a Technodrome. It's so cool. I love it so much.
Heroes in a half shell.
Turtle power.
Okay. Interesting.
Now we had on mute, so what you couldn't hear was the continued repetition of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Based on a suggestion by a friend, I do actually put that in the beginning. It kind of, whatever theme song we're doing, I put in the beginning, and it kind of acts as our theme song.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
You do the whole thing, or you do like, oh, cool.
I do the whole thing, and hopefully we'll never get in trouble for it.
I listen to our podcast. What are you talking about? I'm lying. I would never want to listen to myself talk. Oh, that's opening up comments to the audience. Neither would we.
Oh, poor thing. No, everyone loves you.
Cut this part out.
I won't. All right. So
now, I did want to bring in at this point a bit of exciting trivia.
That's my favorite comment.
After we have, seen that trailer with, the many cool shots of them fighting and being awesome, and then name splashes across the screen, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. When the show aired in the United Kingdom, they had to make some alterations because there was controversy regarding the use of ninjas. They found those too violent, and there's actually specific bans against nunchucks which is Michelangelo's tool.
The blades are okay,
right? But so like the nunchucks specifically, I think they had certain bans against the weapon in the UK, so they didn't want a show that glorified that.
Interesting.
So the name of the show was changed to Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
And instead of nunchucks, they gave him twin pistols to shoot at everyone.
They had to edit really severely. They had to cut out anytime Michelangelo used nunchucks. It's a show about fighting. That happens a lot.
And that's his weapon.
And, not just that, but like the violence in general. So they had to do lots of cuts. They had to cut out anytime the word ninja comes up. They had to
ninja, please.
All this stuff. And it's, it's just an American transplant. So just all the shoddy editing that they have to do to cover that up.
Wow, that's rough. That explains why there are no TMNT fans in England.
There were so many TMNT fans in England.
Really?
And they had to import all these turtles because kids wanted turtles suddenly. And so they got these cute little turtles, and they didn't realize that they would grow into large-sized turtles. So many people abandoned their turtles in like ponds, ruining the ecosystem. And they had to ban some of the popular breeds.
So what you're saying is ultimately TMNT did a disservice to England.
I mean, not everyone can be a winner. Sometimes there have to be losers.
Like everyone who's died in a war.
Yeah.
I do not feel that way.
No?
There are some people who've died in wars who are losers, but for the most part...
But you mean because their side were not victorious?
Yeah. Okay. Like the Confederacy, the Nazi Party.
You are strictly reporting what our alleged president allegedly said.
Yeah. Our alleged president? I like it. Not my president.
Cut this part
out. I probably won't.
Bumming people out. Just because it's an incredibly tense time right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about TMNT.
I'm okay with alienating any listeners who still like Trump. Because I do not want to have anything to do with those people.
I'd take an Orokusaki any day. That's Shredder.
All right, then.
Okay.
So we've done some of the things we do on the show, including but not limited to watching the opening theme.
Indeed.
We have played the opening theme for our audience. We have talked to one another.
Described it in excruciating detail.
And now there's only one thing left to do.
What's that?
That's the thing that everyone loves, where we, along with the theme, we sing the theme song.
Does everyone love this? Did they put up with it? Did they stop listening a while ago?
I think they might. I honestly don't know. I am always shocked when I see somebody downloaded our show.
That's so sweet. But then don't you get a little suspicious as well? Like, who's downloading our show?
It's probably Russian bots.
Like, anytime someone likes a post that I don't know, like, why is someone liking what I'm doing? What's this about?
So, we're going to do it. We're going to
do it.
I'm going to turn on the theme song, pull up the lyrics, and away we go.
Gonna start with that New York skyline.
Is it going? I can't look because it's two different windows. Okay, good.
Crescent moon.
Oh, it's a commercial first. Okay, and skip. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in a half shell, turtle power.
They're the world's most fearsome fighting team. We're really hip.
They're heroes in a half shell and they're green.
Hey, get a grip. When the
evil Shredder attacks, these turtle boys don't cut him no slack. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Splinter taught them to be ninja teens.
He's a radical rat.
Leonardo leads, Donatello does machines.
That's a fact, Jack.
Raphael is cool but crude. Michelangelo's a party dude. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
Golden. And then, they're going to an instrumental part. And that just reminds me of my Game Boy game that I played all the time.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Donatello does machines?
I don't like how that sounds now.
Well, no, I didn't even mean to think. That just sounds like what Donatello's grandma explains how he's an engineer, but she's like, oh yes, my grandson, he does machines.
Or it's just how the others in the group don't respect him because they're all just like fighters and he's the intellectual. Like, I don't know, he does machines, whatever. He just builds all of our amazing, crazy equipment. That's fine, whatever.
Splinter taught them to be ninja teens. In fairness, he really just taught them to be ninjas. The teens kind of came with them.
Well, fair enough. Because the thing you forget is that they're just teenagers.
Raphael's cool but crude?
I don't like
Explain.
that. I've never liked that. And it really feels like crude doesn't seem fair. Crude, and I actually never knew it said crude. I thought it said rude, which made a little more sense to me.
Does he belch a lot?
Because he does not. He's just a fun-loving, super sarcastic guy. He's our comic relief, but coming in with the witticism.
And that's Rob Paulson?
That's Rob Paulson.
Of course.
That's the hot one.
That's Wacko.
And then, heck yeah. And
Yakko. Sorry. Yeah, Yakko. Which knows which now?
It's Yakko.
Yeah.
Because he yaks.
Yeah.
You get it.
No, I know. I did watch that show.
And yeah, so I don't like it. And even in the books, Raphael is the angry one who is just all grit and frustration.
And you want to take him home and change him.
Oh, it's hot. It was hot at the time. Now I'm a grown-ass person. I'm like, no, I'd end up with a Donatello. I'd be much happier with him.
How do you feel? That's like Veronica Mars and your Logan Eccles.
Exactly. In fiction, absolutely, I want you to reform this bad boy. In reality, don't put up with that, sweetie.
Where are they in a half show? Where's the rest of their show?
I mean,
I'm nitpicking, of course, because this is not my theme.
It's because Chuck Lorre's a hack. What does that mean? They're not in a half shell. They're in a whole shell. They're making a play on some sort of food where it's turtle on a half shell, but that sounds awful. And
it's oysters on the half shell.
Is that oysters on the half shell? Yeah, so it makes no sense.
By the way,
and they say it twice.
As somebody who would like to work in the industry, I think Chuck Lorre is a perfectly serviceable sitcom producer.
He's never going to hear this.
He's never going to hear this. That's true. All right. Well, that was a theme song. Catchy AF.
Try to get out of your head. You won't.
How do you feel about it? Because I feel like I did a crappy job singing of everything except the chorus, but I'm willing to let it go.
It was beautiful.
You're sweet.
You have the voice of an angel.
They're the world's most I should have listened to it just before doing it, because I was like, they're the world's most fearsome fighting.
You don't have it ingrained in your heart and mind.
I found it as I was singing it, but yeah, like the first few words of each line are like, Splinter taught them to be ninja teens.
Do you feel like you want to do it again?
Nah, I like this talk.
All right, good.
And you were originally thinking about doing, and I'm glad we're not, because this isn't like half an hour already, about this one and the other one you liked?
I didn't think I'd be able to talk about this so much, so I think we might have to roll this into a part 2.
Wah, 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 wah. Is that a sound effect that people use?
Yeah, why not?
All right, well then, yeah, that gives people something to look forward to.
Something to look forward to, guys.
Right?
This time, with so little going on, we all need something to look forward to. So enjoy this tantalizing tribute to an upcoming episode where we talk about the Nickelodeon reboot.
And let's end every episode the way we do, by shaking hands and saying, good episode, Lauren.
Good episode, Sam. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for listening. Bye, everybody. Oh, man. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. How about that? Huge fan. Well, that does it for this minisode. Remember, tune in next time for the next regular episode, because it's going to be a good one. It's going to be Unfriended Dark Web, which, guys, that is our 49th movie. I don't know. Technically, this is right now our 98th episode. we got some exciting things coming up in the future. I'm just putting that out there. Don't unsubscribe just yet. And remember, vote correctly. And yeah, that's it. Vote for people who are against Trump.
Vote early and vote often.
Lauren's here. You stuck around in the studio. We do have an open door policy.
Sleep under the table here.
That's true. We do have an open door policy too, so of course you can come in and
Still
come and
everything
go see,
from
please.
Bang Bang.
I do. And now let's do the closing up the plug bags theme.
Whoa!
It's time to open the bag. All right, that's enough stealing from them. Thank you for listening, and tune in next time. Bye, everybody. You just say bye, Lauren. They know you're here.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.